Hi, you guys. Welcome to the I Am You podcast by yours truly, Kaya Star. I am so pleased to present a lovely, beautiful, amazing, queer man who be slaying it, okay? Slaying it, all right? Because I look good today. It's because, credits to Jamal, sorry.
You are good.
I'm gonna let him tell you his name, and I think that what I would say is that you're a makeup artist. And correct me if I'm wrong. And just let them know what it is you do, and what do you say your career title is?
Yeah, I would say I am working as a professional makeup artist. And right now, I'm currently working for a specific company or brand. So, yeah, that's what I do. But yeah, my name is Jamal. And I'm working for the specific brand that I'm working for right now is Chanel. So.
And do you do any of things on the side on yourself? Do you freelance?
I do. Not as much as I did when I used to work for a company that was MAC Cosmetics, and I worked for them for 14 years. So yes, I did, but now my workload is a lot more working for Chanel. Because with MAC, it was just very different. With MAC, you would be considered full time with 30 hours. Now I work 40 hours plus in the boutique, so it's a big difference from 30 to 40 hours. Like the day shifts, you're getting all 8 to 9 hours, well, 9 hours when you have an hour lunch days, as opposed to some days with Mac, I would work like a 5-hour shift and you have a 30-minute break. Okay. So it would give you a lot of time to do different things. Like now, honestly, a lot of times I'm so tired from just being at the boutique that I don't.
So you're like the person that's at that counter that sometimes does facials for people and samples, and so you're like a consult, but okay.
Yeah, all right. What we call at the boutique is what they would call, or what Chanel they call a beauty advisor.
A beauty advisor.
A beauty advisor. So it encompasses what they have: skincare, there's makeup, there's also fragrance, and more recently, actually in January, they sent me to home office so I could be a part of a program that's called a fragrance stylist.
Okay.
So basically, I studied all of the different facets, the notes that are in the fragrances, when they're created, how they're created. It's almost like a sommelier. But specifically for Chanel fragrances.
It's like a winery, how they show you how wine's made and the different types of wine, and this is in fragrances. Correct. Which I have always wanted to know how that works.
Yeah.
Because there's this scent I want to create. I want to create the gardenia scent. Like the gardenia flower is my favorite flower. The smell of gardenias, I love it, and I wish I can bottle it exactly how it smells off the bush.
You know, it's funny that you say that, because I don't want to talk so much about my brand specifically, but with Chanel there is a gardenia fragrance, and the reason being, with gardenia, is actually almost impossible to extract that exact.
So the minute you touch it, the oil changes.
Exactly. So it's an accord of fragrances that smell very much like it, but it
doesn't come from.
It's not from gardenia. Yeah, it's a mixture of other things, which is really unique. I mean, I didn't know that before I started studying that. I was like, oh wow. And the reason that she likes the gardenia is because it looks like a flower that's called a camellia, and the camellia is it looks like a gardenia, but it doesn't have any fragrance.
Right. Yeah. There's one that looks just like it. Smells like nothing. Just like there's jasmine, and there's jasmine that has a smell, and there's jasmine that doesn't smell like anything at all.
Many different, different varieties, species and all that.
So I want to get into, how did this start out for you? Because there's a few things I want to get into, so I'm gonna roll it back a little bit. You were working for MAC and started out, I believe, in New York City. with Mac. Is that correct? Or did you start in Florida? Oh, right now we're in Miami, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So like, did you start in Miami or did you start in Port Charlotte or did you start in New York City?
So with Mac, the first job I had with them was in Fort Myers. So I had gotten my license in Port Charlotte, but in trying to find my way, my career, all that kind of stuff, that Fort Myers wasn't too far. And my sister, I have a sister that suggested, she's like, you two make up really, really well. She's like, you should go work for Mac. I didn't really know anything about it, but I went and they liked me, and then so it was history. So yeah, I was with them for, like I said, 14 years. It was the first makeup
So
artistry job.
you were like straight out of high school, went into, did you go to like the hair and beauty, what do you call that class? The trade
Cosmetology.
Cosmetology. Yeah, you got your cosmetology degree,
Mm-hmm.
and you went
License.
straight, and your first job was Mac.
Yeah, with beauty. Mm-hmm.
And
That wasn't even my plan.
That wasn't your plan.
No.
And Mac, most people say it's hard to get a job with that
Isn't
company.
that ironic? Yeah. So I honestly was more focused on hair because I thought I'm gonna, with my degree, with my license, I'm gonna move to New York. I'm gonna I'll work in Harlem. Like I want to do black hair. Like I want to do I want to do all these things with hair. Like that's really what I was.
So hair was more like your passion that you were going for.
I love all of it, but yeah, that was the thing. Like I had played with some makeup as younger, but it wasn't really anything that I was thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a new career out of it. But when I was looking for employment, a lot of the places are like, well, you need experience, or which I get, but then it's like, well, how do you get experience if nobody gives you a chance?
And doing black hair experience,
Hello.
You would get the experience doing it because I'm sure they didn't have the experience.
Right. Well, not even specifically but just any. I wasn't even necessarily trying to go specifically in Fort Myers for a black place because of course that exists, but
more
ultimately
private owners had their salons and booths.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
it wasn't a professional thing that people were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But makeup definitely has always been a professional thing. So I just want to reiterate and go back some. So knowing Jamal growing up, I know you were wearing eyeliner when you were like 15, 14, and you played with colors and hair, and you had different hairstyles. We both pretty much had different hairstyles and different color hair, different day of the week, and we both loved fashion. So to see that you went after that, and 15 years, 14 with Mac, I think you said 14 or 15.
With Mac 14.
Like 14 years with Mac is a really long time. That's a really long journey with them. So you started in Fort Myers, and then were you transferred to New York City, or what
that
part?
That didn't happen immediately. Honestly, so trying to get into a bigger market.
New York fashion's like a big market.
It's a top tier. Yeah, exactly. So coming from such a smaller market area, it's everything is political. So anyway, within the first few years, I had transferred. I was in Fort Myers at a Macy's counter. I worked there for 3 years. Then I went to Sarasota. They have a freestanding store. So then I kind of grew with that. I got into a management role. I was there for about 3 years as well. Then I was able to pursue going to New York because I had these other kind of accolades and things under my belt, different experiences and certifications that I had gotten through working with Mac and travel with them and whatever. So anyway, then I was able to go up to Harlem. I was there for a couple of years and came back down and made my way to Miami when I was there for a few years too. So it was every 3 to 4 years, it was I would move
going to
another city, another location. That's just how it happened, just career-wise. It was okay, well, maybe I've seen everything that I needed to see here, and what
I'm
else?
ready
to do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did did you ever venture into the hair, or were you just like, okay, I'm already in this world, and I just want to continue doing what I'm doing?
So it's funny
Did
that
you
you
fall in
asked
love with
that.
that?
I did, yeah, and it's really interesting because when we were shut down for COVID, I had ordered, everybody's home order and shit.
Oh
So and I
wow.
have my license still, and I kept up to date with it. But I was like, how do I get practice? Well, maybe I need to just start with basic things. Like I ordered a mannequin with a mannequin stand, just so I could practice doing the braiding, doing
Right.
this, like just basic things that I
Yeah.
could build up my confidence with. And I have a barber shop that I go to that's right across the
Oh.
way from me. This Dominican barbershop, and I became really good friends with the owner. So, and I had asked him like, hey, because he knows I was working for Mac at the time whenever we first started our my hair relationship with him, and I had asked him if I was interested, would you teach me? Like, would I be
Oh.
able to like apprentice with you, and you can
Mhm.
teach me some skills because he's a really like amazing barber. And he's like, oh, absolutely, and whatever. So, but just things happen to
Right.
where I was able to like more just stay focused with
So
math.
it's like even though you want to branch out, it's like almost you were destined to stay where you were and continue on that journey.
And I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was scary, and like I said, because since we were furloughed, we were home, and not working, and
Right.
we work on people, and nobody was getting their makeup done because
And no one's leaving the house. They don't need their makeup done.
exactly. So it was like, well, what next? But then when we came back, things were very different. Like most of the staff didn't come back. It was like me and another girl, and I was like, oh my gosh, now what's gonna happen? Are they even gonna keep up? Like there was so many questions, and this has
Yeah.
happened so many times with me being with the brand for years. I had seen a lot of people getting let go and whatever. But what ended up happening was was there for maybe like another year after. We were still COVID with the mask and stuff
And
like
was that down here in Miami?
This is down here in
So
Miami.
the funny part is, like, I was during COVID, I was working in Miami and South Beach as a tarot reader.
Okay.
So I was doing nursing on the weekdays and the weekend in Miami
On the beach.
on the beach, where I made like 500 a weekend because everyone from the different states would fly to Miami because it was more of an open state. They had curfew, but like not like it wasn't shut down. The whole state wasn't like you had to stay in. Everyone was still walking around and out in Miami on the strip.
Yeah,
So,
and the weather gives for it too.
and I made the most actually during
at that time.
That time.
I could see it, and then you'd be outside. Yeah, it makes it works. It works with that. But then I end up getting recruited with working. I was still working at Mac, and somebody from Chanel had came and had approached me,
and they're really big companies. These are not like these are high end makeup. Not just makeup, like health and beauty industry. I would say.
And Chanel, like fashion brand, fashion house, like major fashion.
So,
house.
have you done any makeup for like fashion shows? Have you done that kind of stuff?
No, not so much. More so, even with Mac, like it's funny because moving to New York, like you would think, oh, with Fashion Week,
Yeah.
but it's very political. Like I said, so and with the type of person I am, I'm like, I'm not gonna be no damn brown noser. Okay, so I was working towards that, but since I was not like that, a lot of times I didn't get picked for anything like that. So I just continued just doing whatever I was doing. And so no, I didn't do any of the Fashion Week shows when I was there.
Did you do people that were going like to that had shows that there were fashion, not like maybe Fashion Week, but fashion shows, or like I mean,
models.
Yeah, New York has like a big, in California, New York, and Miami, I think all have very big high demands on models, people that do photo shoots, music artists, videos. So did you pick up any of those type of gigs? Do you have a story of any of them that stand out to you?
I could say, okay, maybe not like, this isn't a specific freelance, but just working even at the counter when I was in Harlem. There were so many different people that would come in, but I remember, and somebody who's becoming like very famous now was Tiana Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
and I have the pictures. I remember the exact day, and I remember where she was eating. Like she was eating Popeyes, and I remember she had and her body was just insane. She had these abs, and I'm like, how the fuck does she? How does she do this? And then, but she's super cool.
Uh-huh.
And since actually, I've run into her working at Chanel and I reminded her. Of course, she didn't remember.
You remember you ran into her in New York.
I did her makeup.
You did her
for an
makeup,
event.
and then you did it again. And
I didn't do it again
but
there.
you
I
ran
just
into
met
her.
her. Yeah, she was at the boutique. She was shopping.
Oh.
And then so I went up to her and I was like, hey, I said, you know what? I actually met you years ago when I was working at Mac Harlem, and I said, oh, I did your makeup, and it was for a specific event. She was.
So wait, they actually go in the store and get their makeup done to go to an event?
Yeah.
I would never think
Not
that.
always. I think a lot of times people have somebody, but maybe the person was busy
if
or
they
whatever. They
needed
needed
it
to
done.
have it done. So Mac. But yeah, that's happened. Even Saul Williams. I don't know if you know Saul
I
Williams.
have no idea who that
He's
is.
a spoken word poetry person. Who's on Girlfriend. But anyway, and he's on. He was doing that Tupac. There was something on Broadway, and he was involved in that show. It was like a Rose from Concrete. But anyway,
Rose from
people
Concrete.
would
I
come.
heard of it.
People would come in sometimes if they were doing whatever events. But my freelance, like me going to out call for people I would say would be like more regular clients. I don't think anybody like that's coming to mind and I'm like, oh, it's so famous that I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah. No, not so much. But
yeah. So I also wanted to get into something else. So do you think that being a queer man helped you in that industry, or did you feel like there was pushback, or do you feel like it was more accepted because queer men were always around fashion and makeup, and that, especially Harlem, I think that's where, isn't Harlem where it all originated? Voguing. Like I think it was downtown Harlem, the night underground basement parties. I think that was like the area that originated from either Manhattan or Harlem, which I think it becomes a part of each other. I think if you go down more, it becomes like Manhattan is lower Harlem or something.
Well, yeah, Harlem is like kind of an area or city. Area.
A district. I think a district within Manhattan.
Exactly.
But that district particularly during the 70s or I don't know, maybe 80s. I think it was about Starlight, Madonna era. Because that's why she did do the Vogue song, because that was what was on the scene. So I think downtown Harlem was like where all the voguing started. So do you feel like
it started from honestly from the 70s?
Yeah, 70s, before disco and all that. But do you think that being in that area you were more accepted compared?
Just being me. I'm always just me essentially at the end of the day. So
was it difference between Fort Myers in the way that you were treated than in Harlem, or was it the same?
I mean, I would say it was good either way. I was just more surrounded around more black people in Harlem.
Oh,
there was a lot. Yeah, I mean, there's a good mix because it's a very black area predominantly. Or it was anyway at that time. Fort Myers too. I mean,
Fort Myers is a pretty
black, so a lot
Spanish predominant as well.
Absolutely. But I would say even with my coworkers, so the coworkers that I worked with when I was in Harlem, everybody that worked there were either you're black or you're Latin or black Latin.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's
there was no
areas, right?
Actually, I think I worked with one white person.
Wow.
Right. So, but then.
And this is
Fort
Florida.
Myers,
that's.
No.
Oh,
this is in Harlem, baby.
Okay.
In Fort Myers, no, everybody. I was the only black person that I worked with there. The same thing when I was in Sarasota too.
Oh, Sarasota is the more predominantly white area.
Right. So yeah.
Did you find a difference in Sarasota, or did you get the same type of clientele and have the same amount of hours and
I mean, I had a good management and support. So my manager really liked me. And actually, her man has the same name as me, and she's like this. She's a white lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's very like, you could tell that she got some flavor to her, like. So she's real cool. But I remember like her man is like black and Puerto Rican. She's like, oh my god, I love my Jamal. She's like, that's my man's name, right? And she had kids with him and everything, and so. Anyway, with her, she always wanted to see me grow, succeed, and so she would push me. I remember she told me, like, you're gonna be this year. I remember she's like, you're gonna be my key holder, so like one of the assistant managers. I was like, oh my god.
So
I didn't see that.
Would you call her like a mentor figure for you? Mm-hmm. Like someone that helps you to further into your career?
Mm-hmm. At that point, I mean, now she's not really in the industry because she was with Mac for, I want to say, like close to 20 years. So
wow.
Maybe even from the late 90s, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so now I think she's just more of like a stay-home mom, and then her husband does like streaming and stuff, which is.
But I'm saying cool. During that time.
Oh, absolutely.
You were kind of new still,
mm-hmm.
So like she kind of.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. She was one of the people.
Absolutely, yeah, and she was a trainer too. So she's an educator. So before she was doing the store management, she would travel around to the different locations and kind of say like, okay, this is the skill set. Like this is what we're learning. Teach us the classes. Oh, these are the trends. This is what they're doing for Fashion Week. Those kind of things. So that's how I started a relationship with her. Mm-hmm. And then I guess with her, maturing, getting older, like she didn't really want to travel around so much. So she was wanting to just be at one base, and she was, starting her family. Yeah. So it made more sense for her to just be a manager. So anyway, I went to her store and location and was able to kind of grow there. And I remember she even came to see me in New York too. So yeah, we stay in contact, and I still stay in touch with her. So it sounds
like you had a really good. You had a good relationship with your coworkers in any place that you were. Yeah. So even if you left a place, you still left in grace, and you were still had a great rapport with them. So you were very professional when it came to what you did.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and
do they pay, so mm-hmm. to be nosy. Mm-hmm. Do they pay well in that industry? Like when you started off until where you are now, have they gotten better with pay?
Oh my god, it's like completely different. So of course, since I was with Mac for so long, I didn't really know kind of what to compare. I mean, and it was the best for me at that point. Mm-hmm. So yes and no, but now that I'm with Chanel, I'm like, oh no, I could pay like 3 times as much as what I did, and then I do a lot. Like,
can we say this? Okay, I don't know if you're comfortable with it.
It's just the facts, but I didn't.
Chanel was treats their employees good.
I wouldn't say that Mac treats them poorly, but me growing, and it was
your skill too.
Right, so it's just a different time and what they're able to offer. So at that time, I would say no, Mac was great, and I learned so much. I got so much product. Right. I got so much exposure, so many different things. Learned so much. So I wouldn't say that they necessarily treated me bad, but Chanel definitely. I feel like they see something exactly, and they're not shy about taking care of me and making sure that I feel comfortable. I feel happy.
They give you incentive to
absolutely
stay with them.
Absolutely,
they're like, we value you.
Yeah,
we like you.
They give me so much responsibility, and even like I was working with eyewear. I was a thing with what's called the eyewear ambassador. Mm-hmm. So it's basically like I will influence the buy for the boutique and say like, okay, we need to have these colors come in because these are what the clients are looking for, and help to sell. Because
you're like right there working with the clients, so you know what the trend is, and you can
see what they're asking for.
Yeah, like
they might be showing me pictures like, oh, do you have this? Or do you have anything that's like this?
And you see it coming in a lot, and you're like, okay, this is what.
It's a constant conversation. So and there wasn't anything that I pursued. They had asked me, "Hey, would you want to do this?" I've just always said, like, with my experience with this company, I always just said yes from the beginning. So even when she had approached me and she was like, "Hey, would you be interested?" I was like, "Yes." She's like, "Okay, I'm gonna call you this time and then make sure that okay, perfect." She's like, "Oh, hey, can you interview with this person?" Absolutely.
Wow.
So I just made myself available and was
Yeah.
saying yeah, and then it just worked.
And it also gives you more experience, and it also shows that like this person's dependable, and we want to keep this person because they're like we can depend on them. I mean, you made sure that you were an asset to the company.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like I said, I'm always I just show up as me, and they love that.
Yeah.
And I don't have to. I'm always very observant. So coming from Mac, which is very different, it's so much more in your face. The colors are loud, like the way people dress. The Chanel client is not the same.
It's more.
It's more reserved.
It's more sophisticated.
Sure.
I think it's a sophisticated
Absolutely.
line. A very mature line. You're not gonna get very, very young, like 20s. You're gonna get a little bit older, mature crew, unless they're like, you know.
Unless they gotta have money.
They got money. Like
so,
the Toyotas, I know their stuff and they got money.
Or that they don't have sugar daddies. No shade, but I mean, they do. They come in and they come in with their older.
I wouldn't want a sugar daddy.
Hey.
No, but no, I would have to definitely have a connection with someone. Money could not be the only thing that could be driving force.
I see, and we see this every day.
I wonder if that's popping up only on the screen or if it's in the video. Put it on the screen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's funny that you say that because I have one of my colleagues and I think she just turned her, just to kind of paint a picture, but we worked together from, she was probably about 26. But anyway, so her thing was like, oh my gosh, I want a sugar daddy, da da da. I was like, baby, do you really want one?
Yeah.
I said, because you're gonna get something, but I said they're gonna want something too.
You have to give something to get something.
They're like, she's like, really? And I'm like, yes, baby.
Wait, she just thought they just give you free
stuff.
stuff.
She's like, I thought I could just be cute or like show my feet and then they like, or maybe show like a little cleavage, and I'm like, yeah, no. I'm like, these people definitely want. I said it might work for one day, but then. When they see so-and-so, and she's even, 2 or 3 years younger, and she's willing to do whatever, right, buy for you. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, they're going to want you to do things that you would not want to do, but it's like an agreement.
Right. It depends on how, I feel like, for me, because I see this a lot, it's like, it depends on how bad you want whatever it is. Like, if it's that Chanel bag, is like, well, how bad do you want it? And that's just what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me,
to each their own.
It's to each their own.
To each their own. But like, some things you just can't put a price on. I mean.
No, they have. They put a price on it.
They have, but like, when it comes to me, I'm very detached from the material world.
And that's amazing.
It comes and goes. Like, it's not going to be around forever. For me, like, the human spirit and it's something that will exist forever. Yeah, that will transcend even our physical bodies. Like, God is something that, you can't just fit in a church or you can't just fit in a book. Like, it transcends through all humanity. Absolutely. So, like, those things for me are what our riches are. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. We need money to survive in this world. Right. We do. Right. And I think with everything, you have to give something to get something. Absolutely. Like, even working as a makeup artist, you have to give your time. Mm-hmm. You have to, like, get experience. You have to say yes. Like you said, I was just saying yes. I was just saying yes.
When you be available.
So, if you're saying yes, you're also having to prioritize other things in your life. Mm-hmm. So, like, that leads me into, like, your love life. Mm-hmm. So, did your career succeed your love life at a certain point?
No, never.
You didn't have to?
No, because I really only got, like, I've been into makeup and working as a professional makeup artist for almost the past 20 years. Like 20 years ago when I got my license. Mm-hmm. And Well, ooh, no. I was gonna say this is the first relationship but that's not true because I was actually in a relationship with somebody else for like 5 years. But it's different. This is the beginning of that career, and I was so much younger, and he was too. So like, while we're still actually friends,
Yeah.
and he's a makeup artist too.
And when you're both young, you're kind of like finding your way in the relationship and finding your way in the working world.
Absolutely.
Like you're juggling both
Everything.
things.
Yeah.
So I was married very young, and I was like, we were growing up together, raising kids together, and learning everything together.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it didn't affect because when I was just beginning, and I was beginning my relationship with Josh at the time, I was starting up with Mac. So I was learning my career, and I remember I had makeup that I would get, and I remember he had asked me like, hey, I remember he would be playing with it or whatever, like I could tell. But I was like, okay, what? I don't care. So I remember he had asked me, he's like, what would you think if I was to do, like if I wanted to do makeup too? I'm like,
go for it.
Yeah, I'm like, if that's going to pay the bill, like,
go for it.
What the fuck?
The more the merrier. The money is like.
So I was like, play with it, like learn. And he is such, like, even to this day.
He pursued it?
Yeah. So he actually started working for Mac too, like some years ago.
Wow.
He actually now, ironically enough, works for Chanel, but he's in Tampa. So
Tampa's a good area too.
Yeah, but he's there, and he told me like we stay in contact and stuff.
Wait, hold on. This is really hilarious. This is inspirational because like people would see that as like, oh, they're competing with me. But if you're mature and like you care about the person, you're like, do your thing, get your bag too. If you really do like this, like not because I'm doing it, you want to do it. But if you actually see me doing it and you like it, and it piques your interest, go for it.
I'm so proud of him. Like he is very, very skilled. So yeah, I'm not that kind of person where I'm gonna be like, ugh. Well, because there's so many different styles of makeup, and people are going to be drawn to.
And there's only one you.
Exactly.
Like,
so at the
even
end of the
if
day,
someone is doing the same thing you like to do,
they're not going to do it like
they can't do it like you because there's only one you, and it's unique. And you can tell when someone's around you just to like learn from you and use that. But then once they leave, they can't have access to continue to keep learning.
Right, so it's like, that's it, because you're going to keep on growing, evolving.
You're going to be like,
I'm on this old version. I'm on 2.0, and then now you're on 5.5.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that it takes like a mature person to be like, go and not be jealous. And also, that means that you have confidence in who you are.
Yeah.
And that honestly is what draws me to Jamal, is that like, since you were young, you were always I think we both were big trendsetters actually, but like you did things that were not socially inclined to be seen. Like you wore long socks that were rainbow. And this is like early 90s, maybe 94, 95, and you can even find these clothes like we would go like
where the hell would
I don't even know where we got this stuff. We would go thrift shopping. I wore like men's golf pants and I would tie a bandana. I would tie a bandana around me, and now they actually sell these in the store, like bandana shirts, you get what I'm saying? Or we would just do our own piercings, which I see you still have your piercing, and I have my piercings that are not in right now. But we would be like, have a sleepover, and next thing you know, we both have nose piercings. We would just like do stuff and
whatever we want.
The creativity was endless. It was like you would put me onto a new song, or we'd go thrifting together and make our own clothes. And we made our own clothes very often. Like we would just like find a t-shirt we like, cut it, make it our own, put some what do you call those things? The safety pins, Put some safety pins on it. We make our own studs, and now you're seeing shirts sold with safety pins, shoes sold with studs, and we were like creating that.
Yeah.
So
Valentina was big with their stuff. Like, it's so funny to see these studded things like
like
Name Valentine.
huge fashion designers, and it's like we did that before it was on the runway, you know.
Like even wearing remember wearing all the band shirts. Like
oh yeah,
I would not.
we
oh
were
God.
like huge.
Yeah,
No effects. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No. I mean, because I've already done that, but it's so funny to see like
Nirvana.
And especially now and we were the only black people that was doing stuff like that. Like what? Now you see a lot of black people and they're wearing these stuff, and it's like, oh,
okay,
that's
so okay, me and Jamal go back from middle school, right? So our style amongst the black community, they would make fun of us.
Oh yeah.
We wore Doc Martens, we were punk rock, green hair,